Materialists is a film written and directed by Celine Song. It is her follow-up to her amazing film Past Lives, which I really enjoyed in 2023. So I wanted to see if her newest film was on par, and it's safe to say that it kind of was. This movie is about Lucy. She is a matchmaker in New York City, works for a very successful company called The Door, where they like to match up rich clients with other people of a similar background. I had to use the washroom at the beginning of this film, so I missed a flashback scene, but I looked up the Wikipedia, and someone else described this movie as a Jane Austen kind of like movie, and I'd have to agree. So she basically pairs together the wealthy, and after setting up her latest client with a successful match and marriage, at the wedding she meets Harry. He's the brother of the groom. He seems to be the perfect man. He's a unicorn, rich, handsome, tall, single, not gay, no drugs, and he's interested in her, but she's trying to grab him as a client. However, she also bumps into her ex, John. He is a caterer at the wedding, and he is still trying to go after their old dream of becoming an actor. So she's now caught in a love triangle between the two men. On the one hand, she could have an easy life with Harry, or she could potentially choose John, who doesn't have any money. He's broke and living with two other people. So this movie, you'd think that's not a really hard choice to do, but the movie manages to add a lot to the characters. You know, it does a hard job of trying to say, you don't want to marry Pedro Pascal, who's probably a billionaire. You'd rather choose, the bummy caterer guy because you like him and he's cool. That was also devastatingly handsome and played by Chris Evans, but the movie manages to do a lot with the characterization. Lucy's also, I don't know, the movie feels a little bit false in that regard because they try to make Dakota Johnson evil, not evil, but they try to make her awful and materialistic, but she's not that bad in the movie. But I think the real charm of the film has to be everything else. The set design, the cinematography is amazing. I really like the atmosphere and the intimate sort of dialogue exchanges between the characters to find out more about them. The film's a lengthy 2 hours, so you definitely get enough of the character development. But the movie also has lots of rich themes about modern dating and lots to say about all those dynamics of emotional vulnerability and why we get married, why we do it even though there's a huge risk of divorce, why we take the risk to do it at all. There is an underdeveloped subplot that sort of appears in the middle of the film and then rears its head again, which it's a little awkward because it's not 100% delved into, and it feels like it's just extraneous. But overall, the film is a nice balance of, it feels classic with a Jane Austen vibe, but it's got the modern touches of cell phones and the internet and all that stuff of a modern day touch. So manages to meld the two perfectly together. And even though the second half of the film is a little bit uneven, I still really enjoyed the characters and watching them interact and grow. And I really enjoyed the vibe of the film in general. And I don't agree with the ending, but it's still a specific choice chosen by Celine Song. She's trying to make a sort of, not pitch, but she's trying to make a message to the audience, and I feel like that's okay. So I give Materialists a 7.5 out of 10.